Gigi Variety reading a little bit from FoodWISE on roasted vegetables. Prepared and cooked well, this recipe gives you wedges of slightly firm beets, potatoes, carrots, and onions. But if you're not careful in preparing, that is, cutting to the right sizes and roasting these succulent morsels, you run the danger of ending up with sweet, mushy charcoal-like vegetable tidbits rather than the sizable chunks of delectable vegetables that they should be. You can experiment with the sweetness of the vegetables, adding balsamic vinegar. This will make them quite sweet, depending on the length of roasting time, or merely adding a bit of salt to bring out the flavor, my preference. I also like to experiment with red wine vinegar, not so sweet, but great tang. Food-wise, it helps to harvest at the peak of maturity, roots having been fed with nourishing manures and/or compost, maybe even with a celestial connection, as in biodynamic practice. Understanding when and why and how our food arrives on our table really matters in the case of vegetables. We tend to eat them whole anyway, much of the flavor being innate. The sweetness of potato and yam, the rustic taste of mature beets, my favorite vegetable, the fruitiness of carrots, which is kind of an oxymoron because carrot is a root. The recipe I include here is with one of my favorite combinations of vegetables. So if you look at the recipe on page 175, this is what I used. Extra virgin olive oil, salt and black pepper, carrots, asparagus spears, beets, all-purpose potatoes like Yukon Gold, 1 onion, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, mushrooms, and green peppers. Optional other root and vine vegetables such as parsnips, turnips, rutabagas, squash. And then I have a selection of herbs. So roasted vegetables, there's so much you can do there. There's so much in terms of opportunity. And I like to compare that just a little bit to all the possibilities, all the opportunities that are out there for virtual viewing of dance and music, but also museums too. And not even just that, but volunteering. So I also list here a website for virtual volunteering opportunities. There really is so much we can do now. I'm recording this on January 31st, tomorrow, February 1st. For some, that is the beginning of spring. So I suggest that we think about that first day in February as starting anew, starting something different, some different combination of roasted vegetables, some very inexpensive subscription to a dance season in Seattle, whether that's Wim Wim or Pacific Northwest Ballet or Donald Byrd's Dance Spectrum Theater or so many other companies.